All right. So I'm
Sweet.
gonna just go ahead with my regular spiel. Um, I want to welcome everybody to the first annual Relationship Stuff 101's Night of Poetry. I have special guests with me, Langley, Shazar, with me, Satish Robinson, both here to lay down some poetry. We're also going to have Key Bates, Kenya, joining us sometime in the meeting. If she don't join us, somehow we'll get her poems so that we can add them to this night. But I'm going to just go ahead and let you fellas take off. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead and go first. And then I'm going to grab my phone and then I'm going to do a couple at the end. And then at the end of this, make sure that y'all, let everybody know y'all social media handles where they can find y'all, how they can get into contact with you, and other information that'll be available so that you guys can get y'all promotions done indirectly. So I don't know who wants to go first, who wants to go ahead and just take off and just go straight from just I guess post poem one from whoever ever what just want to go first. Just take it from here. We flowing now.
Oh, cool, cool. All right, well, I will start it off with this little piece I call Trumpet Legacy Salute, being that I am a trumpet player. So
All right.
goes a little something like this. Everybody grab pen, paper, take notes on your phone. Some names you need to know to get you in the zone. Some names past and present who all play a part in this jazz trumpet legacy, a most noble in art.
Mm.
I love Fast Navarre for his thing, rock with Chet for his. The eloquence of KD, the whirlwind flights of Diz. Freddie Hubbard for his might, Lee Morgan for his bite. Something special about the way Booker Little ignites. Clark Terry was greasy, Donald Byrd, my word. Woody Shaw spoke a dialect never before heard. I'll always remember Clifford, Brown that is, each note a jewel. Thank God for Miles, be it bop, fusion, or cool. Eldridge and Hargrove, both Roys, my boys.
Mm.
The great Eddie Henderson, still out here making much noise. I'm blessed to have heard the late Ted Curson live and direct. And politics aside, Wynton Marsalis gets my respect. My man James Zoller will make you holler. Vinnie Coutro blow your mind. The homie Russell Gunn got something for y'all's behind. Tom Harrell, indispensable. Wallace Roney, good God. My boy Keon Harold and Mo Better, they rep my generation hard. Arnetta Johnson, I hear you, Jersey all day. And Angelisa Rogers, trumpetess with plenty to say.
Mm.
The legacy upon us, may we rep it full tilt, for we all operate from the house that Pops built.
Wow.
Pops as in Louis Armstrong.
Nice, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was very nice. I like that.
Thank you.
What the inspiration behind that poem I'm taking it was jazz itself.
And it was the inspiration behind it was specifically me just being part of the jazz community. And when I wrote it, I was just thinking about some of the recent trumpet hangs we did. And then also the fact that a lot of the movers and shakers and innovators in the music were trumpet players, a whole lot of them. You had plenty of exceptions, such as saxophonist Charlie Parker and John Coltrane, or pianists like Bud Powell, Art Tatum, Duke Ellington, vocalists like Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald. But if you talk about trumpet players, many of the trumpet players in jazz were really instrumental in moving jazz into a whole new realm of possibilities, new style, a lot of new styles and new movements. A lot of the musical language that we speak was furthered by trumpet players. Like Louis Armstrong was the guy that really started jazz into being what it is. He was a trumpet player and vocalist, but his trumpet playing was so unheard of before and so influential. It inspired an entire world to sound like him, regardless of what they played or how they sang.
Wow.
You know, we wouldn't have American music, period, without Louis Armstrong's contributions. We wouldn't have jazz without him. We wouldn't have had rhythm and blues, rock and roll, funk, hip hop. None of that
JRP.
would exist if not for Armstrong's example.
Exactly.
And then you
Absolutely.
move after him, other innovators that were trumpet players like Dizzy Gillespie. Dizzy Gillespie was one who really was the first to successfully merge jazz with the music of Latin America. He started this whole Afro-Cuban movement, and that's after he co-started the bebop movement. Bebop was basically a more elevated, more complex form of jazz that emerged after the swing era, which pretty much shaped every movement of jazz that came after it to this day. And Dizzy Gillespie was instrumental in that. After Dizzy, you got others like Miles. Miles really brought a whole new thing to music, especially in his ongoing experiments in meshing whole genres with jazz. With his album Bitches Brew in 1970,
Mm-hmm.
he started the whole fusion movement, mixing jazz with elements of psychedelic rock, tribal African music, James Brown, funk vamps, and other stuff. My project that I just talked about wouldn't exist if not for Miles' example. And then, there's a few others after him that helped push it forward, like Freddie Hubbard, Don Cherry, Woody Shaw, so on and so forth. So thinking of those innovators and then myself as a trumpet player and then other trumpet players I see out there who are not just playing trumpet, but really adding something unique, bringing a unique voice, a unique perspective. So all the names I shouted out in that poem are people who fit that criteria. Some are the greats. Some of the names I named are the greats of the past. Some of the names I named are people who are currently etching their mark, who will one day be remembered as a great. Some young current greats, if you will.
Right.
Fabulous.
What's it? Are we gonna go like back to back, or you gonna do your second piece?
Yeah.
Or,
Um,
okay. We're gonna do well.
Oh,
You gonna
I'll,
do your
I'll,
second
I'll let
piece?
I'll let I'll let Langsley go ahead now. I'm excited to hear
uh,
what this brother has.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So with my style of writing is very layered also, but it also I very seldom rhyme. I do use some figurative techniques that I'll look at later on.
Right.
One of the things that I also always do is I never title my poem until after I've written it. I try not to box myself in, so I just come up with a concept and I go through it, and then after I feel like I've completed that piece, then I'll come up with a title for it. So
Right.
the title for this one is called Awestruck, but you'll see how I kind of move through it through space and time, and because I'm big into outer space, I'm into quantum physics and all that, so a lot of my pieces are kind of surrounded that. But this is called Awestruck, and I figure since this is Relationship 101, we'll start out with a love poem.
Right. Definitely.
So it says, I have dreamed grandeur epitomized by starlight, conceptualized, manifested on the tails of comets. Streams of moon dust, galvanized plumes, strike with meteoric intensity, wishes personified, dazzling brilliance, illuminated myelination, wondrously incapacitating, celestial captivation, a kaleidoscope of consolatory comprehension, a beauty unlike any other. Awestruck.
That's what's
Hmm.
up. I like that.
It's nice and short too. It was nice. It had a nice message to it. Like some poems, that people have to understand. Some poems don't have to be long. They have a really short, deep message to them. And
Absolutely.
sometimes you think, hey, that poem, it has to be extensive, and then you're used to that. You somebody saying something that's really extensive, and I've read a lot of Langley's poems, so that he has a lot of poems that are extensive. So that one was nice, sweet,
Mhm.
and straight to the point. So I like that one.
Well, I appreciate that. And I guess what what makes physically writing those poems shorter is that I typically don't like to move between pieces of paper on a typewriter.
Right.
So that we talked about being deliberate and really thinking about what I want to say and how I want to say it. And a typewriter helps me do that and kind of keep things condensed down to one page, just so that I can kind of flow through that. And then kind of like, when the page is done, the poem's done. So I'm mindful of how much space I actually have to operate and work with.
Right. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Well, because I know, like when I usually write a poem. Excuse me, I'm working with this Facebook Live trying to get us broadcast here. I know usually when I write a poem, like you said, I usually don't. I'll write a poem and then I'll title the poem after I've already finished the poem. That's usually what I would do too. So I usually don't just title the poem until it's done. Yeah. So
Well,
we.
I just think that, and it's not. I know everyone's writing um, the way they write and their style, and just their process is different. But I found that as I began to hone my voice and figure out who I was as a poet, that trying to have a title just gave me too many restrictions and I was too confined. And so without a title, I can move however I want to, and then, tie it all together nicely at the end with the
Mhm.
title.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. You- so we got Satish next.
All right.
All right.
First time I recognized your voice, I was asleep on the floor in my homeboy's home studio. Not a roof at all to call my own. Life was unruly, yo. Never knew my dad. My grandpa was the only father figure I ever had. I was a lad, did much things good, did many things bad. Nah, I wasn't a mama's boy. I was too much a rebel. Little did I know the pacts I was making with devils. The choices I made put my life in the ditch. And yet you shone your light on me and made my life go switch. The first time I recognized your voice, you gave me a message of hope. You promised to undo the binds in my life and burn the ropes. The first time I recognized your voice, I knew you were my dad, my heavenly father, the best one anyone could have ever had. You realigned my life and gave me strength through strife. You gave me an incredible gift in the form of my wife.
Mm.
Though I am a man, I'm yet a weak little lamb. You showed your mercy and grace. Show me you are the great I am. Father and Son, Father and Son,
Mm.
Father and Son. The end.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
That
powerful,
is deep. Wow.
man.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
that is
I'm
very
about to,
deep.
I'm about to switch. I'm going to switch up now. I got to pick a different piece.
I did, I wasn't expecting that one. That was really deep. Now that's almost like is that like a absentee dad like type of poem, or is that like a message to my dad or dear dad or something like?
And this this poem is simply a public thank you to God.
Mm-hmm.
This poem is
Beautiful.
simply a love letter to my dad, man. God is our creator. God is our heavenly father. For anyone who don't have a father, who don't have an earthly father, if only they knew. If
Hmm.
you once you know, you know. God, God is there to pick up any pieces that need to be picked up. And I mean that poem with every fiber of my being because it's a lot that I've been through over the years, and before I arrived at Christ, I kind of went all around, tried out different things. I tried out being a 5%er, tried out being a Muslim, tried out this, tried out that. And when I got with my church 5 years ago, although I have attempted being in numerous churches before, there was something that just finally clicked this time. All the elements was in the right place. My life was in the right place for me to really receive the truth.
Finally found a home.
Yes. And as I did that, God came into my life and very slowly, very diligently just started remaking the fabric of my existence from the ground up, how I carry myself, how I thought about myself, how I prioritized my life. He stretched me, how I
Hmm.
planned my life out the window. Everything I thought I knew, all these years I knew nothing at all. Nothing. And as I put in better effort to follow those promptings, it led to my life miraculously changing before my eyes and before the eyes of others. I went from having to sublet a different spot every other month. I went through droughts where, as a musician, I just wasn't making enough money to where I'd have to get out in the park or the subway on a cold day just to play and raise up enough money for a haircut or to catch up on rent.
Wow.
And just really allowing God to lead my life instead of me trying to do it on my own, that led to a whole lot of transformation. That led to me being able to forgive things that I've carried unforgiveness for decades. That enabled me to see more value in myself and in others who I failed to value. That allowed me to meet my wife. That allowed me to marry this amazing godly woman. That allowed me to have a family life that I could have, that I never saw myself having, you know?
Right.
Yeah, you know, God is amazing. And that poem was just my
Absolutely.
love letter to him for that.
All right. It was a really good one too. I mean that
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you.
that's
was
powerful.
really good, powerful phone. Yeah. So I guess we got. I think we're on your second one. This is your second one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I had to switch it up after yeah, yeah. I had to come up with something else a little bit to follow up behind that speech. That was amazing. This one is
Yes,
called
sir. Thank you.
connectivity, and this is one where I was talking about worlds between worlds, worlds beneath worlds. So,
Mm,
the way our brains work, the way we are connected to each other, the way that we are connected to the earth, the way that multiple celestial bodies are connected to each other. And this kind of just ties in all of that and how we are all part of a bigger scheme, kind of like what you were saying with the way God operates and being omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent, and seeing that we all play a piece to a grand puzzle and a grand chessboard. And not that it's a game, but that, we all are moving in such a way that allows other things to move and happen. So again, this one's called connectivity. Oceans unravel as tides peel threads, continental divides feather whispers and dreams. The crashing of ideals stream from gravitational forces. Moons orbit thoughts, revealing uncommon eras. Time itself is held captive beneath unfathomable pressures. Deferred ambitions entrenched beyond abysmal plains. The catacombs of intellects interwoven, tethered to geothermal consciousness. Worlds beneath worlds, subatomic particulate gyrate in electromagnetic undulations. Magmatic postulations grieve carrying capacity, sutured neurons. Connectivity.
mm.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of brain activity and mental thought processing and cognitive things going on there in that poem.
Yeah,
Very good.
absolutely. And it's just the final set of lines there about the carrying capacity. We talked about how when, as human beings, we realize that the earth can only hold so many people and so much life and all
Right.
these things, and that's the carrying capacity that we're talking about. And it's kind of an ode to saying that if we don't respect ourselves, if we don't respect the planet that we've been blessed with, if we don't respect how we conduct ourselves as human beings above all else, we are sure to perish and not have any life left, not only in this plane on the physical, but also that we're going to doom ourselves and our future generations.
Right. Mhm.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that's real
Thank
powerful.
you.
Yeah.
I guess Steve, I think you're on your third.
Yeah, and this is actually going to be my third and final because these are only three I was able to dig up once you invited me to
Okay.
do this thing.
Okay. I mean, I guess after your third one, and we go with Langley, we can come back to you. You can, I mean, guess what? Hit us with a trumpet sample, or
Hey, cool,
yeah,
cool.
I mean something, just to put
Yes,
in the
yes.
last two. It's all good.
All right. You are a voyage, my maiden voyage. You are a voyage. I board my boat, I set sail. I come across communication. She says, tell me what's on your mind, baby. I ain't going nowhere. I'm all ears. I come across charm, that smile that makes me wither, those eyes that entrance me. I come across creativity, the way you could hook up meals I can't even pronounce, the way you put your ensembles together. I'm scared of you.
Mm.
I come across compassion, waking up in the middle of the night with those neck rubs and those shoulder rubs and that warm embrace. I come across cultivation, the way you instill Christ in our daughters, the way you are the model of what a woman should be, of what a Christian woman should be, of what a Black woman should be, of what my woman should be.
Mm.
I'll come across comedy. That wave hit me. That comedy, you looking in the mirror at yourself. She thick. I'll come across clarity because I know when I found you, I found me. This is to you, my wife. What have I done? I just sailed across your 7 seas.
Hey,
Wow.
hey.
That's real deep. If I wasn't holding my phone and my laptop right now, and I'll snap my fingers.
Yeah, I was gonna say a little bit of that right there. Oh,
Right.
man.
I was
Well
going to
done.
send you the
Well
Thank you,
fingers
done.
at
brother.
one time right
Thank
now.
you, brothers, man.
So I think Lane, you're in your third. I think Lane, you're on
Yeah,
your third.
and I've got my last two are kind of, we're gonna put those just out because that we've kind of gone through this. So my last two are really going to be kind of encouragement and
Okay.
and ode to, like, African Americans and things that we've gone through as a demographic, as a culture.
Okay.
But this one is I think I posted this and I said, I definitely don't want to offend anybody. However, I do not make any apologies for what I say in this because it is based in things that I have seen and read and things that have happened. And this didn't start out. This poem is called Preamble, and it was kind of my the way that I perceive from an outside perspective on some of the things that go on, particularly in the Roman Catholic Church. So again, this is not to offend anybody, but this is just some things that came together as I wrote the poem, and this is the direction the poem went in. So this wasn't a purposeful attack. I don't want anybody to think that. This is just some things that I had thought about, and at one point they all came together. So again, it's called Preamble, and I do want to apologize again. This is not to offend anybody, but this is just my thoughts as they have been put together. This is also a very fun figurative language technique called alliteration. So you guys are going to hear a
Big
whole lot of
alliteration
keywords.
fan. Yes. I
This is
love you
my
already.
favorite tool. So we'll go ahead and jump into this. Prayed on the backs of the pious, the proud papacy propagates proliferous propaganda, pragmatically impaling souls' fears. These perfect pugilists parry plunderous inquisitions with precision, peddling the impossible, persuasively preeminent, prefaced by preordination, the preferred postulation of a position passed down through a paltry precursory few, feeding their penchant for power. Preamble.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
that was real nice.
yeah, like I said, sometimes I get excited about that stuff. I do write some religious pieces. I've got one that I'll have to get to you guys called Hellbound Pew Sitters. And there's a few other ones that are it's kind of a clarion call. I see a lot and I've experienced a lot, and I'm with people who have also seen and experienced a lot. And I feel that as a Christian community, the biggest problem with people not wanting to have a relationship with Christ is because of Christians and what they act and the hypocritical nature of how a lot of us carry ourselves. And so a lot of things that I say are just, I'm kind of challenging the person, not the faith system, but challenging the person to become better and be more Christ-like and not be so religious, right? Because religion is kind of that man-made institution that's been holding us down by fear and by different things that are keeping us from having a positive relationship with Christ and with each other. So, that's another one of those pieces that are kind of challenging the person as well as some of the ideals that have been passed down through generations.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well said.
Definitely. So like a lot
That's
of
actually something me and my wife talk about all the time. Or correction, me, my wife, and our eldest daughter, we talk about that all the time.
Right. So Satish, you want to go ahead and bless us with a little bit of the trumpet? You
Oh, sure.
put that in there, and then we'll get to Langley's fourth.
Yeah.
Would be your fourth, wouldn't it, Langley? Your
Yes,
fourth
sir.
poem?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Man, that was a poem in its own, I believe.
Yeah.
Somewhere in
Yeah.
there was poetry. Somewhere in there was
Thank you.
definitely poetry. Somewhere in there. Real smooth.
Absolutely.
Elegant. Yeah, I like
Thank you,
that.
brothers. Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna go and get into Langley's fourth poem.
Yeah. And this one is very short, very powerful, and I think it certainly is poignant after that trumpet tribute. So this one is called Lonely Road, and it just says, no one will love you to the magnitude that you can love yourself. So keep walking, even if you're the only one going in that direction.
Oh,
Man.
quick is
Amen.
quick. That's almost like a quote, too. Yeah, that's almost like a quote. Yeah, like almost like a quote too, because it's like a piece of information that you need to get on with in life. It's not more like a poem. It's more like a quote too. Yeah, definitely. That's like a T-shirt.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's like a T-shirt.
Man, get those made.
Right. Satish, if you want to give a little bit more, you want to just maybe go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
I know he's playing music tonight.
Oh, the thing is, I don't think people understand that that's not easy. What you're doing is not
Mhm.
easy. It's not easy at all to be able to do that, to be able to hit them notes.
Yeah.
Those high notes with that trumpet is probably very impossible to do starting as a beginner.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a muscle you got to build. It's like weightlifter, first time weightlifter expecting to bench 300. No, my brother, you're gonna have to build yourself up to that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and for me, it's the theory behind it. You know, your
Yeah.
transitions and knowing your scales and being able to move between, you know,
Yes.
major and minor notes and the things that you're
Yeah.
doing. A lot of people don't understand the complexity
Yeah.
of what you're playing.
Yeah. Like Shahir just broke down the physical aspect, and now you're going into the mental aspect, because you have to have all that knowledge stored and accumulated and ready to be executed on command.
Absolutely, and that is a equally difficult task to even having the physical ability to
Yeah.
play.
Right.
So it's like if I so much as do a line, I'm taking all this theoretical knowledge that I've stored up, all these things I've practiced over and over again, and I'm just shooting it. Like I'm pulling the trigger on all this stuff. It's all this stuff I had to learn first just to be able to do something like this.
Man.
Yeah, it's
There's a lot of inhale and exhale, and I'm sure
Yeah. Oh
that goes
yeah.
along with that.
Yeah.
Pretty
And,
sure.
and like the brother was saying, the theoretical part, like I'm basically thinking, how am I going to connect through these chord changes? How am I going to make a line that's going to perfectly resolve between that C minor 7, that F minor 7, and then that B flat major 7 chord? How am I going to give each phrase a certain rhythmic lilt it needs in order for it to make you want to do this?
Right,
So
right.
it's just like it's a very involved process mentally as well as physically.
yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. With that being said, yeah, we're jumping to my fifth one just because
Okay.
it. I wrote this for. I was asked to do a piece of poetry for a social justice event that we had here in town. You know, after some of the things that have happened with police brutality, not here, but you know, we're all seeing that. We're all to some degree being exposed to that, whether it's here in your community or you know just watching on television. And you know, we're trying diligently here to mend those bridges and to mend those relationships. And so you know, we had all sorts of people from all walks of life come out, and I was asked to write a poem. And so this particular poem kind of speaks to African Americans as being such a unique culture and just such a unique race of individuals. And not only that, you know, it speaks to the atrocities that we've had to endure over centuries. And this poem is actually untitled to pay tribute to all the victims of police violence and other forms of violence that we don't know about.
Right.
A rarefied breed, killing fields scattered, marrowed remains of carbon-based life forms, disregarded and discarded by domestic poachers, set on display, viewed, and never assisted. Does not everything that has life also have a soul? On the verge of cultural extinction, these existential eccentricities breed fear and loathing for real life melodrama. Documentaries, discussions, dialogue develop drastically varying perceptions with unifying positions. If I have not yet begun the fight, have I already been predetermined to death? We all return to ash, unintended to be prematurely snuffed out. Exhale this anatomical animosity and let us all breathe.
Word.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Sir.
definitely tough. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's crazy what we're going through. You see, what happened with George Floyd. We had Ahmaud Arbery. You got Breonna Taylor. We've
Mm-hmm.
seen so many different people, you know, just taken out in such as it's like within three months. I think,
Yeah, easily.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
3 month time period. It's almost like it's
Yeah.
a epidemic within a pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about like Missouri
Yeah.
and Detroit and Minneapolis. Like it's if you look at it over time, you start to see this pattern where around this time of year, you start to all of a sudden see more visibility given to these atrocities, and then you start to see the rioting and other things that happen from that. And so it makes you really think about like what's happening on a much larger scale.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, see, let me see. I'm gonna check and see if I got. Okay, I got a message. I got a message from that's Corey. I didn't get any feedback from Kenya. Well, I'm gonna take it that she'll probably get up with me another day. What we'll probably do, and I'm on Facebook Live, so Kenya, you will see this. We'll probably get with you another day, and then another time, and definitely get together and do another live, do a Facebook Live. We might have to do a Facebook Live, her and I, or do a Zoom together. So we definitely get this together. Today is also my cousin Shonda birthday. My cousin Shonda passed away. Um, that's Kenya's mother. So this was actually a special occasion for Kenya. It's not like I'm stepping over any boundaries by saying that, because she was the reason why I wanted to put this together and put this night of poetry together for her to celebrate her mother's birthday and to have a
Right.
good time and put her mind in a different place, to at least try to ease some, at least to ease the pain of, you know, losing her mom and, you know, losing my cousin. So just basically having a great night. It's been epic. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
y'all bought music, y'all bought poetry, so y'all bought a lot to it. I'm gonna go ahead and do two poems after that. I'm gonna ask Satish if you can give us something, and Langley, if you don't mind, just you sample us something, some type of singing or something like that to close us out.
Oh man.
And then, if you want to, I mean, it's up to you.
uh, uh,
It's up
golly.
to you. I mean, it's up to you. Just something to, promote it to the people. Just as
Oh
because I
yeah.
know you're working on a track you let me hear, which is
Yeah.
a really good track. So, just
Yeah.
something to promote yourselves and then put y'all social handles out there for everybody to know how to get a hold of you and get in touch with you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start off with the social handles. I am on starting with Facebook, Satish Robertson. That is Satish Robertson, Robertson. I have a regular Facebook page and a Facebook fan page. On Instagram, I am on there as Satish Robertson Music, all one word. My music can be heard on Bandcamp. My music can be heard on SoundCloud. Right now, I have a couple singles on all the usual spots, the Spotify's and Apple Music on Avenue. And any day now, my newly released album will appear on all those platforms as well. It is already up on bandcamp.com if you'd like to check it out. Name of the album is 80s Joint, the EP.
Yeah,
And
Nice.
it is my experimental fusion of jazz and the sounds of the 1980s. So you hear my trumpet on top of vintage 80s synthesizers and drum machines and all sorts of effects and wailing guitars. It's like jazz meets Prince meets Cyndi Lauper meets Cameo meets Thomas Dolby. You get the picture. So I think you might enjoy that.
definitely. I've heard a lot of the tracks. It sounds real
Yes, you
good.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I told you I'm waiting for it to hit those platforms so I can go ahead and purchase it. That way I can have it
Yes,
like in my
yes.
I can add it to my Apple library, add it to my Spotify library as soon as it drops. So definitely. I'm definitely happy because me and Satish go
Thank
back
you.
a way back too,
Yeah.
way back 2003, 2004, so we go way back. I'm Langley, if you want to go ahead and you want to drop your social
Yeah.
handles, let people know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah. So me. I'm on all the major social media platforms. You find me on Facebook, Langley Casual Word Shazer. That's just kind of the page that I use for everything. You guys can find me on Instagram. I actually have 2 Instagram accounts. I've got the Casual Word, which is poetry. It's music. It is some other things that I'm into, watches and some different stuff that I fiddle with. But I also have a fitness page, and that's at Team Griffin. And that's just showcasing, you know, the fitness aspect of my life, the other part that me and my friends, we train hard. So, you know, our motto for Team Griffin is Mens Sana Incorporate Sana, which is Latin for a sound mind and a sound body. So not only do we practice, you know, the mental aspect of, you know, the writing and creativity, but we also want to be physically healthy as well to continue all of these endeavors that we are after. You can find me on Snapchat. I'm not on there a lot, but it's Mia Voce. It's Miavoce, Latin for my voice. And I think that's really about it. I don't typically get into any other stuff, not on TikTok or anything like that. Just the major platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. In terms of music, I'm not going to give you guys anything, but what I will do is the clip that Shahi heard, some of you guys have heard that in my story. What I will do is I will go into the live video, and I will post a snippet of that in the comments. So if you guys are watching the video or go back and watch the video, scroll through the comments, there'll be a clip of one of the new songs that I'm working on. And it's called Missing. It's just a really unique track where we're doing some funk, some jazz, a little bit of hip hop. You're going to hear several different genres kind of fused together.
Love it.
I'm playing guitar, so it's acoustic guitar underneath all of that. It's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to this project as a single being done, as well as the entire album. So that's what you guys will be can look forward to. Also, before I forget, YouTube, The Casual Word, it's my talk show. We've also expanded to radio, so you can look at Casual Word Radio. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on all the major podcast platforms. Any kind of podcast application that you're using, you can search for Casual Word Radio, and you should be able to find me. So if you have any questions or want to reach out to me, obviously you can message me on Facebook, but you can also email me at thecasualword@gmail.com.
All right. So with all that, I'm gonna go ahead. I don't know if people on Facebook Live will be able to hear the 2 poems that I'm gonna go ahead and do, but y'all definitely be able to hear it. But on Facebook Live, I'm gonna of course post this video as well. Like Langley said, in the comment section of this video is where he'll leave the links to that music, and is what he's basically explaining. So once I stop this video, I'll basically just post this whole video that we're doing on Zoom will be posted to Facebook as well. So along with this live video that we're doing. So when I close out this phone, I might close out the whole live video, and nobody on Facebook Live will be able to see it. But like I said, y'all will hear it, and then anybody on Facebook Live who doesn't get to hear the poems that I'm going to say, I'm going to actually upload this video once again once I stop this video. So I'm going to go ahead and go to those 2 poems that I've created. As I let y'all know, one of the poems is about my cousin whose birthday is today. It's her first birthday in heaven, so happy heavenly birthday to her. The name of the poem is called Missing You. So I'm gonna go ahead and go right into that. Hey cuz, what's up? Oh, me, just chilling, thinking about your grilling and how it was so appealing. Now my thoughts are revealing the fact that I'm missing you. I know once everyone saw you, they was kissing you. Remember those days that dissing you was a no-no? I'm about to call Shonda. Moms knew this was a go-go. You dancing on someone's face. An image I can't erase. And I won't replace. Those are precious like diamonds on a wrist. And it's you I miss. Send your embrace through our dreams or the television screen. Y'all excuse my poltergeist thought, as silly as it seems. This little light of Larry's and Betty's, and mother to Kenya, and sister to many. When I remember you, I'll wish upon a star, because up there, there's plenty missing you. Yeah,
Well done.
Well done,
thank
my
you.
brother. Happy heavenly birthday to your cousin.
Man, thank you, man. It was hard, you know. We all dealing with it, you know, staying strong. You know, like I said, putting that poem together. I put it together as soon as, you know, I put that poem together. I said, you know, I want to get with Kenya and try to do this night of poetry and, see what she think about it, doing it on her mom's birthday. And she was like, yeah, I'm cool with it. You know, so shout out to Kenya. You know, salute to you. Thanks for giving me the lane
Absolutely.
to share this and do this in your mom's honor. You know, and thank you guys for doing this with me. I really appreciate y'all for doing it. I appreciate
I'm
Kenya,
glad to be able.
definitely wanting to do it. Like I said, we'll definitely get together another time, her and I. So I'm gonna go with that said. I'm gonna go into my second poem is almost like what Langley's poem was about, of course, with all this stuff we have going on as a demographic and in America, in the state of America. I felt like this poem and this poem closing out this night of poetry is probably something that, you know, we all need right now and we all needed to hear. And the name of this poem is called I Can't Breathe. So I'm going to get right into that. I can't breathe. Your arm is clasped tightly around my voice box. So if I try to box for air, you'll squeeze tightly out of fear.
Hmm.
I can't breathe. Your knee is pressed tightly against my neck. So out of respect, let me stand up and put my hands up. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. You're smothering me. Lord, please help me. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Can't this officer hear the crying of a man who's dying? Or could my words be annoying him because he keeps supplying pressure?
Hmm.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I see the veins in his arm start to protrude, and I smell the leather from his boots. Shoot, man, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I thought these words were a cry for help, but instead I hear, whelp, you think you're tough now. No, jackass, I can't breathe. Now stop
Hmm.
being a goddamn clown. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. While this poem is no joke and should never be taken as a joke, we still had people poke fun and turn this into a pun. We shout Black Lives Matter, and in return, we heard all lives. That's
Mm,
all lies. Because this man was killed for no reason. He repeatedly told the police he wasn't breathing, and yet they continue to ridicule him and call him names. This is lame. For decades, we have seen the same game, the same pain, and the same shame. Therefore, when will it let up? When can we achieve? And when will we be able to breathe? I can't breathe. Yep, there we go.
Man, that's
mm,
well done. That's
Yep,
there's not a lot you can say after that, but just
no,
that's this that is where we are right now. The
right.
state of our country, the state of our world. Really, you look at places like South Africa, you look at Europe, you look at other places that have uh, an African influence and an African populace. You know, you're seeing the same things across the globe. So it's unfortunate, but you know what we can do is be agents of change, and what we can do is stand united in a positive, nonviolent front to show that there's not only power, but there is intelligence. There is, uh,
yeah,
you know, a way to be a gentleman and a way to handle a situation that will allow us to be heard and be taken seriously.
Right, exactly. Definitely. Um, but once again, I knew Facebook Live is definitely it's ended. I'm gonna go back. Well, I'm not gonna go back on Facebook Live because we can just go ahead and close out here. Once again, I want to thank both of y'all. I really appreciate y'all for being here and doing this and taking y'all time out to deliver such beautiful content and beautiful words and beautiful poetry on a great night. Like I said, once again, I want to definitely give a shout out to Kenya. She had some technical difficulties going on, so she'll definitely get back in touch with me. And then, if she say, "Hey, is it possible for you to get the guys back and we do this again? If you guys don't mind coming back to, do another round, refresh, and go just start all over again, I would appreciate that. Um,
Absolutely.
definitely,
Most stuff.
definitely, definitely. If y'all got anything else to say before we close out,
I just want to say thank you for having me be part of this, brother.
you're
Absolutely.
welcome.
Same. I echo that same thing. I appreciate that. And shout out to Kenya for, kind of allowing this to happen and again, allowing both of us to be a part of it. I think it's something special. And on a personal note, I lost someone very dear to me yesterday. She was my choir director all the way through high school, into college. She's the reason I got into college. And, she was part of the church family that I belong to and I work at. So that was definitely a hard loss, but
My
this was definitely,
condolences, bro.
Be sorry for your loss. Right.
thank you. But it definitely a perfect way for me personally to celebrate her life was doing what some of the things that she enjoyed, which was my writing and my poetry. So thank you guys again for having me. It's been a tremendous honor.
You're welcome. Definitely. So, like I said, well, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I want to thank y'all again. Y'all have tuned into Relationship Stuff 101's first annual night of poetry with Langley Shazar, Satish Robinson, and shout out to Kenya. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Definitely, I'm going to load this up. So you guys watch out for that. I'm going to tag y'all in it so y'all can, share it as you please, share it where you want to share it at and get it out there, get the word out there to everybody who wants to see it, who was looking for the live or looking forward to the live, who probably didn't get to see the live. We shared the live here. So I'm going to close out like I originally do with your understanding combined with our understanding. We can create a greater understanding. This has been Relationship Stuff 101's podcast here on this Saturday night, September 12th, 2020. Once again, you two guys have a great night, and I'm going to close
Good
out.
night.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.
What's that?